Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 Jeep SRT Grand Cherokee. We're actually filming this video just in the nick of time. As you can see, a storm is rolling through, but as always, we will do a quick walk around on the SRT, then we'll take it out to see how it drives. And then a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy for providing us with the vehicle. If you're on the market for a new Jeep, definitely check these guys out. And if you are stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Under the hood here of the SRT Grand Cherokee, we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter V8 Hemi. Goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. In terms of fuel economy, you're going to be 13 around town, 19 on the highway, and then power outputs are 475 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Finishing things up front, we can come to the front here to see the signature LED lights that Jeep provides. You do get these nice projector HID bulbs just in that whole assembly right there. There are some LED fog lights down below. They've kind of redesigned this, so they used to have like a little LED light just right in that area, but now they took that away. This is the same like front fascia that's on the Trackhawk. Super similar. There's a little bit more in terms of like air intake stuff on the Trackhawk down there, but other than that, it looks super similar. Everything's all blacked out and very aggressive. And then if we actually finish up on the front, you still get the little hood vents right here on the top, so makes it look a lot cooler. Now coming around to the side, we have the black satin rims, and you can tell this is an SRT with the red brake calipers are on the side. Some people paint their brake calipers to be posers, but that's one of the easiest ways to tell this is an SRT compared to a regular Jeep Grand Cherokee. Now this is the key fob for the 2019 SRT Grand Cherokee. It's Jeep's keyless entry key fob. You got a couple functions, lock and unlock and remote start, and then you have the tailgate release. The remote start, you just press that twice. First time we'll lock it, second time we'll do the remote start function. So you hear that 6.4 liter Hemi come to life, and then you press it again, and then it'll shut it right off. The other function to do is a tailgate release, so you press that twice. The tailgate will open right up. It is a power lift tailgate in this SRT. That's gonna be standard equipment, but you see all the storage space back here? You do get a little cubby underneath. This has the spare tire that comes with the SRT, and you can see there's actually a speaker back here for the sound system. Cargo cover in the rear, and then if you wanna close the tailgate, press that button, and that will close it right back up. And as the tailgate's lowering down, let's actually go over some stuff in the rear. So there's a tow package under that little bezel that says SRT, dual exhaust tips. You get SRT logos, there's parking sensors in the rear, and then they do LED tail lamps here as well. Coming around to the back here on the SRT, we can see the door panel, and we have leather here with contrasted stitching. There's carbon fiber trim on the top of the window control down there, and then you get more speakers for the sound system. And then in the back here, this actually has a signature leather package, so it's actually a $5,000 package, but it gives you this premium leather. It actually feels really nice to the touch, and you can see it gives the interior a much nicer aesthetic. This pulls down to be some cup holders. This also has the DVD package, so there's some DVD players in the back. Heated seats for the rear. There's a little power outlet with some USBs, and then there's some vents for the rear passengers. Coming around to the front, one touch will lock the SRT, and then you put your hand on the back of the door handle. That will unlock the SRT, and then we can look at the door panel for the front. It's identical to the one in the rear, so same leather padding here with the stitching, and then more of that carbon fiber trim. All of your window controls are going to be right here. Your mirror controls are right there. And then up here we can see the final speaker system in the SRT. It is a Harman Kardon sound system. Memory seats are actually here on the side of the door. And then if we look around at the seat here, you can see we've got the power adjustments on the seat. There is a lumbar adjustment too. And looking over these seats in general, again, these seats with the leather package that comes with this, the signature leather package, they're really, really soft to the touch. They feel really nice, and they actually look really nice on top of that. And then before we pop in, you can see the pedal layout there. These are the light controls. I usually just leave them in automatic mode. Stepping in, step and height's actually really good. It's really easy to get in and out of the Grand Cherokee, but the push button starts, you just put your foot on the brake and push the push button. I like the carbon fiber trim around that. Gauges do a sweep. They will say Grand Cherokee on them. So starting on the steering wheel here, we're actually going to start on the design of the steering wheel. So it's kind of like a grippier steering wheel. It's all leather wrapped. There's paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel to shift the gears yourself. Here's a regular cruise control. Adaptive cruise control is just on that side. These are for the center screen. We'll go over that momentarily. And then all of your voice commands. There's rocker panels on the back of the steering wheel to control the radio stations. And then in terms of other safety tech, you actually do get blind spot monitoring. There is lane departure assistance that comes with this. as well, and then you're going to get those parking sensors that I talked about earlier. So there's a whole sweep of safety tech that comes with the SRT Grand Cherokees. Coming over to the gauge cluster, we can see on the left hand side there is the speedo, goes up to 180 miles an hour, pretty cool on an SUV. We've got this center stack which has the RPMs because that's the most important part in a sporty vehicle, and then over on the other side, sorry about the glare, but you've got your temperature gauge and fuel gauge. Back to this center part, like I said, there's a bunch of different menus that you can scroll through, so I'll scroll through these for you guys. You can kind of see the different configurations you can set up. I usually just leave this to be a speedo in most vehicles because try not to go over the speed limit too much, but you can see all the different bits of information that you can essentially see on this. It is super configurable. Trying to angle it at this touchscreen so that it doesn't have too much reflection in it because this touchscreen is basically black, but this is the 8.4-inch Uconnect touchscreen that comes with the product. It's super responsive. I would say it's one of the best, if not the best, in the car industry in terms of responsiveness and easy to use. So it's got drag and drop function with the touchscreen. You get dual zone climate here on the SRT. You can see these are your controls for your heated and ventilated seats. You can do your calling, texting, Bluetooth, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, navigation, everything via this touchscreen. I want to go into a couple menus on this. So the first is the performance pages. It's going to take just a minute for that to load up. So now that the performance pages are loaded up, it gives you different bits of information. So you can see real-time horsepower, torque. For example, you can set like a little dyno, but you can see all these different gauges and screens that you can basically scroll through with these performance pages. It's really neat. They put these on all of the SRT products that Chrysler has. The last thing to mention on the touchscreen is if we put the Grand Cherokee into reverse, a backup camera will pop up. There's some trajectory lines, so when you turn the steering wheel, the lines will turn with that. The resolution on the screen is really good, and the quality on it overall is really good. Just below we have all of our analog controls for the climate controls, and then your radio controls on top of that. That's for your parallel and perpendicular parking assist, your parking sensors, turn them on or off, stability control. That's going to eco mode. Hopefully you never use that with this vehicle. Your stability control when you need to do all those burnouts. There's some extra storage just under here with some USBs and a 12 volt. And then we have our shifter here for the 8-speed automatic. There's that dual shift mode if you want to shift the gears yourself. You can do it on the shifter or those paddles like I said prior. And then just below that, here is our mode selector. Now, this is pretty cool. So you've got all your different drive modes. So you have sport, track, snow, and then you have your tow mode. This isn't meant for off-roading. They lower the SRT Grand Cherokees a little bit, so that's why there's not any like rock mode or anything like that. But if you press this drive modes button, that will pop up on the center screen here with all the different drive modes that you can go through. So you see that you can set up the different modes. So this is for the launch control, so you can actually set the RPMs on that. But this is where you basically can set up all the different stuff in the modes. You can customize it all to your liking on that. And then actually back here onto the launch control. So how that works is you set the RPMs like I showed you in the touchscreen, and then you'll put your foot on the brake pedal all the way down, and then you put your foot on the gas pedal once it's active, and then you release the brake, and then the car is supposed to launch. It's a really cool feature on that. And then the only other thing I'll mention is it's cool they give you a custom mode, so you can set it up exactly how you want it to drive. Maybe you want, you know, the suspension to be more comfortable, but you want the transmission and engine to kind of be in the sportier setting. We have the little center console here. Leather, really comfortable. That's actually where you put the DVD in, and then you've got the little 12 volt there. Decent amount of storage space. You could probably put a phone or two in there. And then also on the topic of storage, let's pop over to the glove box here. It's lined with felt, and it's got a decent amount of storage space, and I actually like the materials all around the glove box. So more of that carbon fiber trim, and then signature leather package giving us all this really nice premium leather stitching. It looks really high quality in the Grand Cherokee, and it actually goes all the way up onto the dash too. And so just the leather and the feel, this feels a lot more premium. Now up here, these are the controls for the sunroof. It is a full panoramic unit. This one is optioned out with, so you can control those all here. I have the shade open right now, and then that's for your tailgate. And then you have some light controls up here for the lights at the front. And then you actually, it's hard to see, but there's little microphones here for the Bluetooth. And then the headliner has a lot of this suede on it. Sorry, the light's kind of super bright, but it's got suede all over the headliner, so it feels really nice to the touch. Other than my backpack being in the way, the interior looks really nice on this new Grand Cherokee. I love this signature leather package, so if you can make that work budget-wise, I would definitely go for it. It has a lot more premium feel to it, and it just looks super sweet. That all being said, let's take the 2019 SRT Grand Cherokee out to see how it drives. Well, this is definitely one of the more expensive vehicles I've reviewed. This SRT Grand Cherokee fully loaded with all the features it has is literally over $80,000 before any type of dealership or manufacturer discounts on it. First setting off, you actually notice obviously the engine tone first and foremost. That SRT motor is definitely a sweet motor, has a really nice tone to it. The suspension on this is definitely tighter than a regular Grand Cherokee. So that Limited X that I reviewed earlier this year, the suspension was a lot smoother on it. This is a little bit tighter on it, but I mean, you're gonna expect that. This is a sportier version. This is kind of like your fast rocket ship type Jeep. Steering feel on this is actually really light, but it's super direct for an SUV. It's kind of impressive. It just goes right where you want it to go, and I'm not noticing a ton of body roll on the SRT either. It is a little bit of a heavier SUV, but I mean, the power fixes that. Visibility throughout the Grand Cherokee is actually really good. So blind spot monitoring system is going to help on, you know, stuff in your blind spot. But other than that, it's really easy to see all throughout the interior on the Grand Cherokee. There's not a whole lot in terms of blind spots, and they've just done really well on that with this interior. Transmission on this is super good. I love this 8-speed automatic that they use. It goes through the gears really smoothly and really quickly as well. And actually, on the point of the transmission, let's get a little acceleration with the SRT. We're not going to go crazy on it since it's a new vehicle. Yeah, this thing's quick. I mean, I wasn't even near full throttle on it or higher up in the RPM ranges, and it just, I mean, it's just right there. 475 horsepower is more than enough. If you went for the Trackhawk, then you're kind of just crazy. So that all being said, to kind of sum things up where this stands, it's kind of in a weird place because Jeep is, you know, kind of in that weird in between, you know, it's like the off-road brand, but then it's also kind of like luxury too. It doesn't really know what it's going for. That being said though, the SRT definitely has a lot of nice luxury tech to it, and it has a really good luxury feel to it. I would say that with his signature leather package, it definitely competes against, you know, luxury brands like Audi, BMW, all that kind of stuff. Just like how the interior feels on this, it is just as competitive as those other vehicles, but the performance on this is crazy. A lot of the times with those other brands, you have to pay so much more money than these to get similar amounts of power outputs. And so that all being said, if you are in the market for kind of like a more luxury-based SUV and you want a rocket ship like this, definitely check out the new Grand Cherokee SRT. And there we have it, everyone, in the 2019 SRT Jeep Grand Cherokee. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're stopping in for the first time, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, comment down below what you thought. And then again, a big shout out and thank you to Larry H. Miller, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Chrysler here in Sandy for providing us with the vehicle. If you're in the market for a new Jeep, definitely check these guys out. But I will see all of you in that next video.